We're going to let this go. Where is it? Here we go. Hello, everyone. One moment. Just trying to make a connection here. Here's the tea.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello,
Many
hello.
blessings. Pura vida,
Pura vida.
pura amor, pura de todo.
Yay! Happy Venus Friday, everyone.
Happy
Happy
Viernes.
Venus Friday. This is kind of our Friday tea time, but it's not. It's just a Facebook Live page. Hello, everyone. So much love. Let's see. Big hug, big blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. It's funny because when it's on the video, Michael, it's reversed. Right?
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
So
That's
we're-
fine.
we're-
It's nice to get a little
yeah,
switch
a little
around
different.
just to see where we are.
You're on the masculine side, I'm on the feminine side.
There you go. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Wishing you a beautiful, amazing day. And from this very heated room we're in a very beautiful tea room. Hello, Kim.
Hi,
So
Kim.
much love. So let us show you for a second. We're in this very, very sacred tea room here.
It's
So sure.
It's been so beautiful that they use the Moroccan style, overlooking the mountains into the ocean. And they did it with such elegance. It was really amazing to show how all the small little pieces are absolutely just beautiful.
I think you moved that very
It's-
fast, but that's okay.
Okay, I'll go nice and slow. As you can see, the beautiful decorations, the rico suave of colors.
This is for a romantic dinner. If somebody wants
Beautiful
to have
tea. Beautiful energy. As you can see, the tables that are set up with such the character, all the dabbings of India, Morocco, and just that nice setting. And as you can tell, it overlooks from the mountains, and when the horizon is open, you can see the ocean. But it's such a majestic and mystical place that that we're in right now, and we're just so honored to share this with you as we've been a little disconnected from the real world these past couple of days and into the beautiful mountains that have
high up in the mountains. So
Swept
we
us
have a
away.
lot to share, for sure. A lot to share. So let's put this here and let's have a little sharing, Michael.
sure.
So I prepared this very spicy tea. So there are these very spicy peppers here. Yeah, I cut it up. I put a little bit in
Look,
there.
we're not
Tell
getting,
me
we're not
how
getting
it is.
enough sun on our face. You gotta put pepper in our drink. Woo! My God, are you
It's
trying to
spicy.
kill me? Wow!
It's very spicy. isn't it?
Very is an
I
understatement.
put like
My
maybe
tongue is burning.
one eighth of this very spicy live pepper.
Wow!
Literally.
Oh my gosh! Does the heat of the pepper take the heat from the sun away?
I don't know, but I just put it in. So it is. So good to see you guys. Yeah, it's great
Thank
to
you,
see you, Kim. We have so much to share. Let me take this hair down and share. Michael, I don't know. Maybe you might have to turn my phone down. So we really wanted to just turn this. We wanted to turn the live stream on because we have not been on for a few days. We haven't been able to post, and there's just a few important things to share, and we just felt we wanted to. We didn't have a chance to do Friday tea time or anything like that, so we said, okay, let's just turn it on and give you a little heads up because it's all about sharing the life lessons. It's all about like what's been happening and. Really, and just the beautiful lessons that life brings you, and what we're walking away with. So thank you so much for joining in, and we have a few crazy things to share with you.
Yeah.
Crazy, wow. So we had a chance to briefly on Facebook. You have seen when we got to Costa Rica. The first 4 days we've been going from one place accommodation to another accommodation and another accommodation, another accommodation, and we had booked a 5-day to stay in one
Hi, Mary.
accommodation. Hi, Mary, so much love. Just so that we can finally ground the energy and really just relax, and that's really what we needed, because when Brazil didn't work out, we faced so many things, and of course, as these things take place, making sure we're staying in the center of it and we're really in the heart of it, and I feel for the most part we've done that with a few bumps in the road. Hello, Ligia, so much love from the tea room.
Hi, Ligia.
So anyway, so what happened was, some of you got a chance to see, we somehow, so-called accidentally, were placed in an all-inclusive resort that was all alcohol. It was a casino and resort here in Costa Rica that brought a lot of laughter to us, because it's not a place that we would pick at all, but it just so happened that we picked it for one night, and that was quite hysterical for us, because we're both vegetarians, we're both non-alcohol drinkers, so to be positioned in a place that had so much alcohol and the amount of food, and we're like, wow, we're here one night, and the funniest thing was, even 2 people staying in the room, they charged us even extra, another like $75 for one of us, because it's an all-inclusive resort. We said, okay, clearly we have to send our light here, and it was very interesting, because we got to drink our non-alcohol drinks and really just be there, and really not be in judgment. People are where they are, here we are, and we have some interaction with some individuals, and it was very humbling experience to see that. We did sleep great. That was the one night that I slept really good, but it was fascinating, because we would never be positioned there.
It's interesting when you're placed in different areas and we're booking areas, and just to do a prequel, like many times when people plan for trips, they take the extra time, but because the Brazilian,
they take the extra time in reading reviews,
and reading
this
the reviews
and that,
and seeing what happens. So even before our trip started, we booked a hotel that looked really, really nice on the beach, but as soon as we read the reviews, it sounded like this place was unsafe. It sounded like they were just not the resort to go to. So even before the trip started, after 2 days of running, after the Brazilian trip was divinely intervened in the most perfect way to lead us to a very unique experience, that we had to take action to go beyond no refunds, cancellations, to avoid a place that many, many reviews said do not go, to end up in some beautiful places before, but to see the variance of how you may one night be in the most beautiful place in the mountains, and then the next night find yourself in a place you would never see yourself in, just due to the excess of all-inclusive, which for some people is beautiful. For us, we see the humility of it within our own well-being, and how we can serve the light, and then be positioned the next day into a beautiful family.
Yeah, so it was very interesting.
Place.
We picked a very beautiful. Maybe do the screen, sweetie, so the bugs don't come in. So it was so funny, because the next night, then we stayed at this very cute, adorable little family hotel, and like Posada. I mean, just so cute, small, away from the people and crowd, and that's really what we prefer. And just quietness, really not around loud. The other resort is just the amount of music, loud, and the drinking and the drinking and drinking and drinking. It's not an energy that I like to be around, especially because I get to see, you get to see quite a bit. And again, no judgment, it's just not a preference. Anyway, so I want to share with you from here what happened. Hello, Carol. Hello, Susan. So let's take you from Sunday. So Sunday, we checked out Monday, and we got Uber. So just FYI, for those of you that may know or may not know, There is Uber in Costa Rica, but it's really in San Jose. But Uber is technically illegal, but there are many Uber drivers that do drive. So because our regular Uber didn't work, we were able to use, there's a cash option here, which we book it, and it's so much better, especially this time. The taxis are charging 4 or 5 times more, which is just outrageous. So it is what it is. And again, we just honor what is. So imagine Monday morning, we have another 2-hour drive, and we're so excited. I've been so excited to get to this place. And it was amazing because I saw the picture. I was like, oh my God, finally, we'll be in an apartment. We can cook and we can just sit. I so desperately need the rest. Just that's all I want. I didn't want all this movement because it's been exhausting for me. Anyway, so as I'm outside, this Uber driver coming, this precious Uber driver with piercing here, all hyper, tattoos and all cool. So he comes in.
Esteban.
So little did we know, our entire journey was about to change again. So we get in the car, and as usual, Michael loves to speak Spanish. He gets so excited to speak Spanish with the locals, and it's so hot here. I just like pass out in the back.
So
and just...
I usually connect to the locals heart to heart, because obviously when you reach out to the individuals, really connect, they open their ways, and it's a one-on-one interaction that starts to show the love and the respect and the culture, because we know that as we come in, we're not the normal tourists. And so if we can share some happiness, some peace, some just good old-fashioned fun of laughter, it works out well. The funny thing about Esteban is he couldn't have spoken as fast. I mean, like when you think about in Spanish, which held me to like maybe 60% of understanding what he said, it was hilarious because he came from a 3-day festival, techno
electric festival,
where 5,000 people around the world come for a weekend. And if you can imagine, at a techno, no one's sleeping, everyone's induced in what you would think of Burning Man or any other festival.
So a lot of, let's say, crystal and LSD and you name it is on through his
ecstasy.
Ecstasy. So he's coming, he's wired, picks us up, couldn't be more precious. So here picks him up. So Michael starts talking. So we have a 2-hour drive. So we're driving. I'm just past that. It's so hot. They're talking nonstop.
Telling him if he sees a little fruteria, can you stop by and get some mangoes, because I have a little passion. Anytime I see some fruits, or every time I see some, we have to stop by to get the fruits, because in tropical countries, as we know, they have the best fruits possible.
Exactly.
So we're driving, and as we're driving to this place.
So just imagine, it's a very interesting driving, let's just put it that way. And I'm just like, I get so car sick, nauseous in the back. I'm just like this while this conversation between them two is coming on. So we're going to our destination. So 2 hours later, we finally arrive. But before we arrive,
we start to see, as we drive into this place, barbed wire on the buildings. We start to see the roads and just the housing turning into more the local style housing. And we just start to see the area just become into a neighborhood where you wouldn't probably take your family, or you wouldn't walk in the evening. We're looking, and I'm seeing not one symbol that could possibly look like Costa Rica. If anything, it looked like kind of like we're heading from the countryside of the beautiful Costa Rica, maybe into the ghetto, maybe into the areas that just seem a little.
We don't want to say ghetto. Let's just say, picture this as if we booked this place for 5 days and we paid a lot of money for it, let's say, because not by choice, because very little availability last minute.
And
so let's present that.
Every place on the ocean, as we know around the world, likes to charge a couple $100 just to have an ocean view.
Yeah. So anyway, putting that out there. So we just want to paint this picture for you. So imagine in the picture on the internet, it looks really wonderful, and I'm excited about it. Water and everything. So here we get into this sort of like town. It's a port town. And it's like the first thing when we even pull in, we're like, something doesn't feel really good here. But this Esteban goes and And we asked Esteban, we said, hey, listen, let's see, there's a grocery store because we have to be 5 days here. Can you just wait? Can you take us 2 minutes down the street for groceries? We pay you more. He said, yes, sure.
So we checked in.
So we arrived early. Thank goodness. We arrived 11. They were nice enough. It's like, yes. We even put our stuff up and we're looking around. We're like, okay, and I'm still okay at that
You're
point.
like, this place is amazing.
I was like, it's pretty. It has a beautiful view of the bay and where the crocodiles are, and here the ocean. No problem. I'm good because all I want is just to rest. I want nothing else.
Meanwhile, I'm getting a little
uncomfortable.
because
and you always have to listen to that voice.
I felt as we drove in, every building we passed before getting to our place just looked a little run down. And I honor Costa Rica. I've lived in Mexico for 10 years. I understand what it is to go through towns where they're at. No disrespect to Punta Arenas, a very, very unique port town. So we get.
But it wasn't. We were looking for. We wanted to walk, maybe holding hands, each other. Beautiful place. So let's just. At that point, we still didn't know until we got back in the cab. And the car, the Uber, Esteban went to try to find us. And as we drove in, imagine it's like 3rd degree, 4th degree hurricane has wiped the town down, and there are only 2 so-called hotels here, and we're supposed to stay here for a week. There is no walking here. There is no biking. It's pure trash on the ocean and debris from imagine a hurricane disaster.
Wood all over the
wood
beaches.
Everywhere, and Michael loves ocean. So imagine, I was like, oh my God. And Michael was like, oh my God. And the Uber driver's like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in Costa Rica.
He goes, what did you guys sign up for?
And we're like, he's like, how much did you pay? We're like, a lot,
And we kept asking, have you ever been to this part of Costa Rica? He's like, no. And I would never take anyone here. And I look at him, and he's like, okay, maybe it gets better.
I was like, maybe we can spend. I keep being positive. Maybe
we'll just drive to the point.
Let's go to the point. Let's just try to find a grocery store until we finally, God bless, we find a point, and it's like it's a dead town. Literally, nobody's walking around. There's nobody really is there. And on top of it, it's just piles of trash. Things have come up. Really, hurricane has wiped the town, and here we're supposed to stay. Again, no problem. Hello, Michael. Hello, Mojan. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Lisa. No problem. But it's just, it wasn't what we imagined. So surprise came out.
To rest, as in 2 healers, just to relax.
Do we just need to rest and write and
as we're coming in to really hold the energy within, we're in a place that it just kept opening our eyes wider and wider.
And it didn't feel safe, honestly. That's where it was safe for us to walk to, at least even try to get to it. It's not even a restaurant. So anyway, imagine we're placed in the middle of Harlem, but a hurricane has gone through it. We're not kidding. That's literally what it was.
And our Uber driver decides to pull over to ask the police officer, meanwhile, Uber is illegal, to ask where the local supermarket is.
No, he's still not it. So he takes us. He decides, he's like, this is crazy. I'm gonna stay with you guys. So Michael starts kicking it. Michael's like, honey, we can't stay here. I was like, Michael, it's okay. He's like, we can't stay here. Michael never ever does that. He's the chillest guy. But here comes Michael. He's like,
it's usually honey.
There is no way.
It's usually honey when it comes to a place that's like, we're leaving.
The vibration is off.
And I, after backpacking through the world, I could stay in a cardboard box in the most beautiful place. But when the vibration's off, honey is usually the first person
because
to say,
it affects me.
I'm out. This time I'm saying honey. And meanwhile, she's really excited about the place.
I was like, let's just, nice. I don't see anything else. We're just right here. No problem.
And I'm like, honey, this place. He takes us to the supermarket. The guy,
oh my God, the supermarket.
We go into the supermarket.
And we're trying to say, what are we going to pick?
What can we get? We walk into the supermarket.
Imagine us, little bit snobby vegetarians, organic, totally a lot of raw eating, very super healthy. We go to this nightmare place. I'm trying to get groceries.
And Esteban's looking at us, picking up everything. He comes over, you guys are vegetarians, right? Yeah. And we're like, Yes, hi, Gina. He's like, I see you picking up all the vegetables, so we're piecing it through. If you're ever in a third world country, I love it, Mexico. You know, you're just moving through the vegetables I can get through one day or two. No disrespect. We know what Costa Rica is all about. Beauty, and there's sometimes there's different areas. So we're going in there. We get all of our bags. We go up to the line, and there's one person there with 5 children that are all filling up their phones. And Esteban looks at me. We have 3 bags. There's about 20 people behind us.
One person. It's hot and the music is like this. So again, no judgment. We just look, and I can see Michael. It's like fire coming out of his dragon head. He's like,
I'm usually chill.
I never see Michael like lose it. So, and he still didn't. So we come back in the car. There's some homeless person has put cardboard on poor Esteban's car to pay him. And anyway, so we leave. We come back. So Michael decides to tell Esteban, like, Esteban, listen, we have to cancel. If we cancel, we need to go to another place. San Jose, will you take us? He said, no problem. What an angel. He said, I stay with you. We said, we'll pay you more. Stay with us. On
the ride back, we started taking pictures. We stopped by the national,
which I haven't posted yet.
The National Aquatic Center, which is where they have their famous part of town. The whole aquatic town looked like it was run down, trash everywhere. He looks at me. I look at him. Then we start driving and looking at the beach. Not one person on the beach. More and more trash. And I kept looking
it was very much like a disaster bomb or hurricane had come through. It was not at all a vacation respite.
Hello,
at all.
Sunshine Love. Hello, Sunshine. So it was interesting because it was like these were the 4 or 5 days that we were going to be grounded.
Finally, our time, honestly. So universe, of course, has a sense of freaking humor, right? So let's just tell you what happened.
4 days of going like this to get here. One day great, one day all right, and it was like energy that was just like pushing us to make a decision in the art of going. Either we stay, we go. The decision is made now. So Honey looked at me and she goes, "Okay, you're going to do this." And we go back to the hotel, or to the resort / towers that we're staying, and we literally just start saying, "Listen, we honor you. We honor this place. We, I feel comfortable for the security of my beloved." What was advertised and what was brought forward was such an amazing contrast. And so all we wanted to do in this healing for us, being in service for so much time, is just to rest.
And relax. Kim, you're saying the area needed your healing, but you couldn't stay, understand. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's as healers, at some point you have to realize, we desperately needed our rest. And yes, absolutely, we're so much in service when we go to towns and whatever. I mean, we do that constantly. But this time it was like yes, we could, but it's just we really needed that grounded for ourselves. So it wasn't to just wear there. So that's when Michael, and I was so proud of Michael. Michael's like, I'm going to take over this. So let's just say 4 hours. Here we are. So we have to handle the booking is through booking, and it's a lot. And this is the big chunk. Managers. They don't refund right away. They don't. It's non-refundable too.
And the art of honoring in the moment of chaos, in frustration, in anger, in absolute disbelief that
it was so shocking. You most of you know us. We're not problem maker, but if you're telling you we were shocked, like the shock was so shocking to us, and we're like, and you really that's awful feeling, and you really feel you were so taken advantage of, because there's no other pocket, and it's so last minute. It just is what it is.
And if any of you could imagine when you're in this place of disbelief on a vacation that you've just waited months and months to get there, let alone a week before the whole Brazilian adventure was taken away at the last second, all of a sudden we realized there has to be done something very quickly. So the grace of honoring the locals, speaking Spanish, and once again going to their heart and describing how we want to thank them, we want to honor them, and we truly want to respect this place, but it did not give the opportunity to welcome, let's just say, a touristic view of what we could do, because when we come to places, We want to contribute. We want to honor the blessed heart donations that we all
Yeah.
earn
To
we
give
get
it
back
back.
to the community. But when we're in a place where we don't feel safe, where it looks very dark, yes, we're there to spread our light in the time that we're there through our prayers and through the energy that we're there.
Yeah.
Yet, in our own healing, in our own level of restoration, we were placed at a point that a decision had to be made very quickly. So calling in their lobby, booking.com, which is in Amsterdam, so we're calling Europe, to have them contact Costa Rica. They have to actually contact each other to verify each other. So then they talk between each other to verify who we are, then to tell us that they can't be done because it's non-refundable, to go back to the manager.
And there are two managers.
Two managers.
We explaining
one manager's
back
on lunch duty. The
Esteban.
other manager is telling he has nothing to do. And then I'm telling Honey, open up the booking.com.
Open this. So I'm doing the
so
admin while Esteban, our Uber driver, is sitting next to us.
He's sitting next to us. And
he's laughing.
He comes to us, he's like, what do you need? And again, he's like speaking so fast Spanish. And I said, brother, it's like, I just need your help. Don't leave us at this moment right now. And I just kept looking at Honey. I'm like, Honey, if we took a taxi, we had been left in this disaster zone. This beautiful Esteban who came from an electronic
3-day
show,
electronic
tattoos, piercings, and just the sweetest
he had
man.
been on so much drugs for 3 days in a row. Here, then he comes to us. But listen to what happened. Hold on, let's move it forward to what happened.
He comes sitting there. Honey pulls up, one place. I said, Honey, mark that place. That was marked. And then finally, the manager we get a hold of and starts, saying, I can't do anything. And I said, listen, okay, we want to help you. You can help us. If you don't want to cancel all of it, we'll make a compromise. We'll do 1 day. And he's like, well, maybe we could do 2 days. I'm like, no, Honey, one day, we're out of here. I don't even want to stay here in the first place. I told Esteban, get me out of here quick. Like, I don't even care about the money anymore. Let's just get out of here. So 4 hours later of going back and forth, exhausted, tired. This one hasn't slept in 4 days.
I haven't slept for days.
Finally look at Esteban. I said, listen, Esteban, you've been with us for 4 hours. I don't know.
No, there's no. So we said. So we had to wait because the managers had to talk to booking, and we had all these bushes. I was like, listen, we're all hungry, and you know how it is. Men hungry, managers hungry, male trying to make decision. I was like, disaster. I said, listen.
Well, pretty good.
I was like, let me go feed Michael. I told the manager, I was like, please, you eat, all of you eat. Here's my mother. I was like, let me go feed the men first. And then, so right here, we all go upstairs. So here's Esteban, who doesn't eat vegetables or fruits. We have only that. So I start cutting things up quickly, making a fast lunch.
So I turned to Esteban and say, Esteban, do you eat vegetables? He's like, no, not really. I said, okay. I said, because we're going to prepare a beautiful meal for you in this chaos, in everything that's just happening.
So we had our Uber driver stay with us so I can cook for him.
And honestly, in a part of Costa Rica where if someone scanned the video, we could probably be in a part of any city that just looked very rundown, all due respect to Costa Rica, in a port town that we're sitting with a view, and Honey and I are just exasperated, feeling like, oh my goodness, she creates this beautiful
meal. So I create this amazing meal very fast. Some of you know how I cook. I very quickly put it together. And we were talking right at this same time. Imagine in the middle of this, before food, Esteban gets a call from his mother that his cousin just got into a car accident, is in coma, hit by a bus, is in coma. So suddenly we're like, oh my God. Now we understand why we positioned with them. So now in the middle of this, we are like, okay, let's do a prayer for Esteban's cousin who's now in coma. Here's this our Uber driver that's with us that we're holding to have eat with us. So this 2-hour drive is now turned into 6-hour drive with us. And we're like, we can do acupuncture for you to help you too.
I told Esteban, I said, listen, Esteban, I know you have a lot of piercings. I know you have a lot of tattoos. I really feel that you're with us today.
Because we have to help you.
Because we have to help you. Because in this chaotic moment where everything that could have gone wrong, that went wrong, that did go wrong.
But it's going right.
Now starting to shift into the side where we're not only feeding a man that probably would eat very few vegetables, very few things. Then the story started to emerge where Honey's like, I got to go past that. And then I told Esteban, I said, listen, you're an angel. I'm going to give you some acupuncture. Have you ever had acupuncture? No, but I love to receive acupuncture.
Yeah.
He goes, lays down. I put acupuncture. This is probably the first time he slept in 3 days because he
Because
came from
like I should, he was at the electric festival. He's been taking, ecstasy and crystal and all kinds of stuff.
It was
It was a
International
world
Electronic Festival,
Harvard.
right where outside of where we were staying the past 2 days. We had no clue.
We had no idea. So here, then he's clearly be like, well, listen, clearly your angel guides, our angel guides, put us together. I was like, listen, you are our lost cousin. So he loved that. I was like, and look, your cousin now got into an accident. So let's bring this together. So suddenly here's this guy going from this, suddenly he's with all angels. So we're holding his hand. Yeah. We're doing a prayer with his mother. We're doing a prayer for his cousin.
I'm translating into Spanish.
Translating Spanish. We're feeding him vegetables, foods that he hasn't had.
And it was beautiful because, thank you, Belinda, because out of all of it, there was no judgment.
There was none.
All it was just taking.
Very unlikely we put his position
in front of us and just allowing the opportunity to say, if life is going to reveal this in front of us, how can we move in a way where our own basic rest and need can be brought forward based on the service that we do? So for that night, it was powerful to see him there. And then literally,
then the bond between us, I really felt he was like my pure cousin. We just hugging him, and it was something like he's like you're my family. He didn't want to leave. We didn't want him to leave. And then so he himself, he's like, I'll come pick you guys up. Where are you going? We're like, we don't know yet.
Which meanwhile, the deal was with the owner is they did give us 4 of the 5 days, and I said tomorrow you can just pick us up and we go from there. So I then went back downstairs to talk to the owner to figure out who do I speak to again after being on booking.com for another 45 minutes to figure who refunds who. Go back down there, look for the owner, and then the most magical thing happens. And I wrote about this. Out of all what happened, I then went to the beach, which was beautiful with all the debris and the trash, and sat down. And the most unbelievable sunset came out, and it was like, imagine being in a place after a tsunami, after a hurricane
or disaster.
You just see within all of this just density, darkness, heaviness, that the beauty of Costa Rica came out, and I was just in tears on the beach. I just sat there and was like, wow, in every place that we can possibly imagine it being somewhere where we just don't feel comfortable or based upon where our needs are met, there is that beautiful love, that beautiful light that will shine on any place around to fully give us the gift of saying, wow, look at the gem that's right in front of us. Look at what's happening right here. Out of all this chaos and energetic frames of going through cancellations, refunds, here we were on the beach. I was on the beach. Honey was
while Michael was says, I was looking at this sky, all I could feel was Magdalene and Yeshua. The Magdalene codes, the Yeshua codes, again and again and again. These are live, living codes. You are being gifted the opportunity to apply them. And for us, it was very important to speak total truth, speak with grace, speak with love, speak with compassion, speak our truth heart. This is not the right place for us. And for us as healers, also stand up for ourselves. Like, look, you have presented this, but this is not the right condition, And frankly, like we just cannot stay. And I feel that was very, very important to honor that and to really, because a lot of times we're like, okay, let's just let it go. But we needed the rest. So that was such an action of powerful self-love, her love to exercise. Meanwhile, in trust, let me share this with you. In trust, because this fund is not going to be returning to us for a little while. Meanwhile, we have like a little bit of money. Again, the unknown. We have no idea where we're going to be. We don't even know if we have enough money for it. But it is what it is. Yet, meantime, at the same time, we are here for this sacred Uber driver that now we feel is our cousin, who couldn't be farther apart from, whatever. And now we're here for his mother and his cousin holding space while his cousin is in coma, whether he's going to go or not. So we talked to him. We said, listen, we can do the prayer with the angels. We call him in, but it's in God's hands. So we kept bringing him to God. And it was so beautiful. As I saw the sunrise, as I saw the sunset, just tears rolling as I took the pictures. I said, my God, it is amazing, the perfection in perfection. I can't figure this out, but I know wherever we position is right, even though it seems absolutely crazy, something else is happening out of it. And at that time, we still didn't know what was going to happen, but we just remain in trust, in faith, and let's go further.
And the biggest thing that I felt on this trip has been the real, from the beginning since we were out to Miami, is the true test in our divine union is what happens when you are with your partner, your loved one, and all of a sudden you're put in a position where not only do you have to work together, but each situation that you're going through is at a position where you're sitting there and going, okay, I have a choice to stay calm, to not get angry, not to point the finger, who made the reservation, why didn't we research it, not even for a second to let the emotions of frustration, anger, bewilderment, every emotion come through, and to stay in the level.
Stay in the love, in the middle of the chaos.
And stay in your vibration of love so that that compassion can still be applied in the midst of all the energy.
In the midst
of
exhaustion, no sleep, traveling all day, not be with it, things not right, and not knowing, and last minute, and and then how divine and the Ascension team still takes freaking care of you. So it was amazing in the middle of this, and I feel like it was such a testament to Michael and I, our love for each other. We were so gracious with each other, and yet exhausted. But I said to Michael, I'm exhausted. I just need to rest. I'm really tired. So now let us move forward.
Hello, Jason.
Hello, Jason. So much love.
So coming back to the place when Honey was exhausted, I told her, I said, let's find the place. She's like, no, it's already gone. I'm like, no, honey, let's find this place.
There was one place he saw. I found. Mike was like, we need to go there, and it's way in the mountain, complete opposite where we are.
At that point, I looked to Honey and I said, honey, we've been at the beach. We see what's happening. Let's just go to the mountains. We feel the bliss and the energy. And have you ever seen something where it not only spoke to you, but it drew me in to the point that said, honey, there's something very special here we have to honor. And she's like, well, maybe we do it for a night or two. I'm like, no, book it for the rest of the trip. She's like, well, let's just do it for 3 nights and see what happens. So we booked it.
And this is an important part, because then Esteban, here's again the sacred Uber driver. He's like, I'll come get you guys. So it's another 2-hour drive again. So listen. So then next day, Esteban comes. This hotel, we finally said thank you. He came pick us up.
But remember, I had to go in the morning to speak to the owner again,
the
manager, to thank him, to honor him, and to work out the paperwork of how we were going to get the refund. Because in a third world country, we're learning the beauty of how to create, as we know in a first world country, transactions like this. Third world, we just want to honor. So after again calling booking, calling the owner or the manager, we finally worked it out. And here comes our savior, Esteban, the angel.
The Uber driver.
That went back to the place he picked us up, slept in his car, because, that was much closer than the capital.
So we could party more.
So he could
and then come back
and pick us up. And we put in, again, the location to our next destination, which on Waze and here in Costa Rica, it never really tells you where you're going. It just shows you the shortest place to go, which was 45 minutes.
So it was 45 minutes. So let's just say we start this. We're very grateful. We're like, oh, cousin. By this time, Esteban's going to be asked how his cousin is doing. Did he come out of? Right. Familia is his cousin out of coma. He said, it's better. We said, thank you. And, he just felt like he's very, he's feeling really good for us. So let me just share this with you too. At this point, because we had a lot of cancellation, we put everything towards Brazil. They had very little room left. So imagine we have to book another 3 days and we don't get this refund. So again, we keep handing everything to the angels. We're like, just take care of us. We don't know what's going on. This is freaking nuts, but just take care of us. So at that time, Esteban picks up Heather and Jim. So he picks us up, and here we go. First is all good, very good. And we're in the highest mountain here. So let's just pretty tall mountain.
And as our faithful angelic Esteban is here with us once again, leading
Day two
adventure.
You know what it was? Before we left, we said, ha ha ha, Esteban, day two adventure with you.
So
be very careful what you say. We had enough of day one adventure with Esteban. Here's day two.
So Esteban was driving once again. Me and my infatuation with the fruit and tropical countries. We pull over, we get coconuts for him, we get mangoes, we pull over talking to him, and he's just like by our side saying, wherever you guys need to go, I'll take you. And so we just go off on this beautiful drive toward the mountains, and it just starts off like almost like a fairy tale where we're driving through the valleys.
Magical.
It's magical.
Clean air, oxygen, and then
we start to drive, and then the road gets a little dirt.
First a little dirt.
And then as we're driving, the road, we're not seeing anybody, starts to go on steep
narrow,
and then
starts going pretty up.
And as we're driving, we're understanding that this road isn't a normal road. This road is where most people would never
least traveled, or they don't drive this road.
Take a normal car, if not a four-wheel
We have
drive
a tiny little car.
So we're driving, and Honey's starting to say, Michael, I'm kind of feeling a little unsafe here. I was like, no, don't worry, honey. This should be fine. The pavement will start to end. And Esteban keeps looking at me, and he's like, oh, don't worry, we'll be good. And he's driving like on a horse, on a cavalry, just taking these rocks.
This little car, it's like as if he was riding a horse. Meanwhile, I'm in the back. I get so car sick. I was doing very well. I didn't get to it. The car is going like, we took videos. We haven't been able to post anything because we'll tell you the next disaster that happened, but hysterical. So the car is going like this, and these are no longer little dirt road. It's like this, and the incline is like this
up.
And like this.
And
Meanwhile, I'm in the back.
The car back and forth to make it up the road, so that if you can imagine, like when you countersteer in snow to like weave, his wheels were digging in. So at one point, I was like, Esteban, he's like, oh, don't worry. So he puts it into reverse and drifts it down just a little so that he can countersteer. Meanwhile, I'm like looking back at Honey. She's like, maybe.
I'm like, angels. I was like, angels, take care of this. And suddenly, it's like, it's almost 2 hours later. We're almost near there, but this is taking way too long. And it's starting to get very, very uncomfortable. Because a few days before, my brother told me his dream where he was going on this incline and the car went like this and
fell off the mountain.
And meanwhile, I'm like, no, we're not going out like this. We still got work to do.
So I talked to Esteban and I said, Esteban, have you ever been on a road like this? No, it's fine.
We're like, have you ever driven here? He's like, no. Have you ever driven on a like this? No, first time. We're like, oh my God.
And he said he was going to take the same road back because he wanted to go back to the Haka to the second electronic festival, which was happening a day later. We're going now through over little bridges, and now we're moving up this mountain. And by the way, the beauty of the Costa Rican mountains, the trees. And we pulled over at one point just to have a coconut. He's carving off the coconut, and we're still like, wow, this is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yet we're still kind of like, are we going to get stranded in these mountains? Are we going to get stuck because we don't see any cars go by?
And I started telling Michael in English. I was like, Michael, listen. Like, one of these farms, this just pulled over. Like, seriously, this is starting to get like unacceptable. We've just come from one very intense. I think I just can't take it anymore. I just need a rest for a couple of days.
And so his two-wheel drive car is making it up. Hobbling up the road, hobbling. We're going now down through like little bridges over streams.
Seriously, it was like this. And we thought maybe these little cars were actually all will flip over.
And all the rocks kept hitting the bottom of the car. And, and we're like thinking, poor Esteban. He never knew that his little Uber adventure that would start by the beach would go through
like
these mountains. To the time that we got to our destination, the manager looked at us. He says, "Que milagro that you came here." Que milagro is what a miracle, because no one takes that road.
So they said, they're like, which road did you come from? We're like, here. He's like, we can't believe you made it. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to go that way. And we looked at each other. So let's just say when we arrived, we absolutely arrived at the most incredible, truly oasis ever imagined. And we what is amazing is like I've facilitated so many retreats in different places. Both Michael and I traveled so much. We've experienced a lot. We arrived in, we couldn't have been more welcome, more love, more blessed, more supported, more cared for, more like, wow. And they just took us in very quiet, and they're like, we'll take care of you. And the beauty, the elegance, the love that's been poured here by this Canadian family that created it, beyond words we could ever put in truly capturing what is here. I'm extremely quiet. You can't hear anything other than the animals, the
And the wind.
quietness and the wind. So finally we settled in, and we had these groceries. They're like, well, you can't cook there, but because maybe you can make salads and stuff. So which was so beautiful.
And the cabin that we rented, which was called Zen Cabin, which had a beautiful jacuzzi, we walked over and they said, well, that's not in service. And then all of a sudden we looked outward and there was the ocean. And we said, no one told us that in this beautiful, beautiful area in the mountains that we could actually see the ocean in this oasis where you can imagine meditation gardens, manicured statues all around in every type of this peaceful, beautiful
peaceful
area.
rocks, messages, high vibration, everything to do with tranquility, with Zen, with spirituality. They have the medical garden, they have the forest therapy, they have, it's so conscious.
Steam room
with eucalyptus. Like, I mean, they're just so, and we're sitting here, like, for those of you coming, we're sitting in its tea room, and the sun, let me just, for those of you that have just come in, let me just show you, we're sitting in this, and this is the tea room. Let me see.
Wow,
and this is the sunset is going down. Let me see if I can show you for a second. I don't know if you can see this. I mean, it's just truly, truly incredible, gorgeous here. And this is the tea area where you can do tea meditations. And anyway, just spectacular. So on to that, and Michael has been obsessed in taking the sunset pictures. So wanted to share that with you because this is what happened next. So after this, we got here. So that night, this wind picked up. The next day, we had the most. So we arrive on Tuesday here. The next day, Wednesday, we're having the most intense and extreme wind coming in. The wind is so high, it's something like 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, and in the morning. So there's not much we could have done. And get this. So the night that we arrived, we got a chance to see the owners, and the manager kept saying, you must meet the owner. Oh my God, you must meet the owner. So as soon as we met the owner, when her and I looked at each other, it was just like instantly, like a tear. So she, we said, this is truly incredible what you've created here. Never seen anything this elegant, this sacred touch, so much heart. And she explained that she had an experience in 2012, so she gave everything up and she followed this calling and came here, and she built it for 5 years. She waited, then 2 years ago she opened up for like a holistic place. And anyway, so we let that go. We talked a little bit until her and I had this moment we shared, and she, just like me, 3 weeks apart, we both had died. We both had experienced life after death. We both had experienced meeting Yeshua and a galactic family. And so here it is, after all of these things, her and I come together, and she looks at me and I look at her, and I just wilt crying. And I come look at this place, and I'm just in tears, because it's been what's been in the vision, that we'll come to a place and we'll take part in it. And we had no idea. We never even imagined Brazil not working out, Costa Rica, this would be it. So here we are. Her and I just hold each other in tears. And then she said to me, she said, I knew you were coming. I knew you. I put this signal there. I asked for you to come. So here we are, Michael and I, and we had to do a very important planetary work with the Yeshua magnetic codes on the land here. And what was amazing was before that, this Wednesday, the wind was so extreme. So let me tell you this: we woke up, the entire power was out, the internet was out. I had to talk to my children, couldn't talk to my children. Everything was out, and the wind picked up and picked up and picked up. So few of the people who were staying in the resort, they didn't have access to light is going. They didn't have access. Baby, can you turn on the light, Mila? I think the switch, this one turns on somewhere. Is it?
Yeah, I'm looking to see where it is.
Open the door, maybe on the outside the door, Mila. I think so. So imagine that. So we're looking at each other. We're just in tears with one another, and so I said that, and then this wind started picking up, throwing everything around. It was so intense. We couldn't talk to anybody. We couldn't. There were things we had to take care of. We couldn't take care of it. I couldn't get in touch with my children, and so finally, by sort of like in a day, imagine you're on top of the mountain. There's no access to anything. You don't have a car. The phones don't even work. Internet doesn't work. And suddenly there was this reality. Wow, we're in a place that feels very stranded. And me as a mother, yet so beautiful, yet there's this spirit of the wind is so intense. It's about 50, 60 mile per hour, like as if when I was walking, like it would take me. It's like, what is going on? What is it clearing? And we know we were this 3-day window period before today, March 1st begins. And it was so important, whatever clearing had to clear. So clear for the property, clear for the owners, clear for the manager, and then transition, and then clear the space we've come into because we'll be taking part in a lot of things in here. You couldn't? Okay, my love, come, let's bring it. Sorry, we're gonna move here as the sun just went down. Baby, how about no here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we just opened this for a minute to get some air. You can see
this is the beautiful view from the level right there. If you look in the horizon, that's where the ocean is from this farm right here.
So anyway, that's where we haven't been able to. I think we have to get closer because there you go. That's where we weren't able to post anything, share anything because we were going through so much of it, and we really had to stay with that spirit of the wind. And I want to tell you what the message of the spirit of the wind was. The wind was so intense, and I was put in this position because I couldn't talk to my children. There was this thing that was happening with my children. I needed to be able to talk to my son, and I couldn't. Everything was shut off, and it wasn't the property's fault. There was an entire transformer that had come down, so it knocked the power of everything. So imagine you're put in that, and then what do? Yet again, bringing love into it. Yet bringing love to love and trust. So all I said to Michael, I said, Michael, power is not here. We have to leave tomorrow. I must speak to my children. I'm not sure how I'm going to get through the night, but I will. But I'm starting to get all the concerns coming in. So we haven't been able to, again, share anything with you because it's been so much happening, every day.
And I love what you said, Jason. Love, magic, and effect, because really what we came from and where we were blown into, there was such a critical factor that was not only happening collectively, but happening in this place, because we knew that the vision that we placed out as of January 1st and what we've created, it was interesting to see how the universe aligns us and where we are drawn and what is being placed forward. Because in one moment where we're destined to go to Brazil, here we are in Costa Rica, moving through areas and being brought to an area that the owner spoke to you and was like, she literally said, I put the call
for you to
sacred
come.
feminine divine to be brought here. And
Yeah.
even the neighbors,
and especially Mary Magdalene, coach, she's like, I knew you would come. I knew you came. And so we both looked at each other. We're like, wow, like, I mean, we never imagined this, and I just never imagined. So we had a chance to start the day yesterday, and out of all the stress of it, my sacred holy blood came, like, again 2.5 weeks earlier. So of course we knew, in the midst of all of this, here we go, the sacred holy blood has to be given back to the land. We have to create these grid lines again. So yesterday morning, with the person who's part of the forest therapy women on our forest therapy walk, and we had a chance to contribute our part within that, within the vortex there, and also that sacred word, and take part in the tea ceremony bottom at the hill, and what
really
he's
connect.
And really connect. And what he's that he's so sacred. He talks to the leaves, the flowers, the tree barks, the every part of the living organism that is here, and he's part of this facility where when people come, get to experience it. So there was a sacred bond between Michael and him, and just a lot of tears between them, and I got to do what I needed to do here, and it was just so magical, so beautiful, and a lot of collaboration that led to collaboration with the owners for us to,
and the activation love.
The activation was very important.
I feel one of the most important things that was beautiful is in this area that they've just set up after 5 years of them not opening the place. The past years they've just opened. Here we are once again in an area where there's an activation, both from the sacred feminine divine, the sacred masculine divine, and we were brought forward in where you helped create and shift the ceremony.
Yeah, and those are all the videos which we'll post later.
We also brought in the sacred circle where the rocks were, when you went and cleared, me being called to do some energy work around the area, and really having the ability to come together with this sacred man, to share our love with this man, to have a tea ceremony in the middle of the jungle where a beautiful passing butterfly came. He was playing his ukulele, which brought tears to my eyes, with my father always knowing that was his favorite, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Honey drumming, and just in this mist of where all that was moving through, the divine plan brought us here and allowed that to open up such a greater version that we could have never planned. We could have never had the ability to fully be recognized in what that plan was. Like, we literally were brought into
we brought here. The whole thing, we were supposed to be in Brazil, and you never know. The point of this is, like, there is a divine plan, and it's perfect, and it has its own magnificence and comedy and humor, and if you can just trust every part that's not aligned, be able to communicate it and go through with it, it is really, really important. So here's this amazing woman with her daughter. What they've created here is beyond words. I'm not ready to share it with you because we're finalizing tonight some of the details that we're going to be doing here with them. And they literally had put the call for us to come, and she recognized us right away. She's like, I knew it's you guys. I called this. I asked for this. So we're shifting, putting a couple of programs here. And then on top of it, for us to bring a group of 10 people here, where it's been my dream to, I have experienced this before too, but when people come, you're taking part of the land. You go grab the food yourself from the land. You come bring it for breakfast. You go to the first therapy walk. You get to experience nature at such a beautiful, sacred, elegant, but sacred, Christed way. And here it is, that oasis that we would have never imagined exists, right? Somebody created it, and we'll be helping out. And it's like beyond our imagination.
And what's the energy that we picked up once we got here, the feeling that we got from every employee, from every individual, has literally been true divine love. Each person that we've encountered has had this heartfelt, compassionate way of welcoming us, of going out of their way, of really apologizing in times they didn't even have to due to the internet, phone going out, and just welcome us in a way where it was soul family.
And I feel
soul,
beyond the soul
family.
fam, we feel like with recognition. And me and the owner, we talked about it. I was like, "My, you're Pleiadian," and she's like, "I know you're an Arcturian." She's like, "My God, I've missed you. It's been a few thousands of years." And
just
that
the
love,
the
the
love
love's like,
of
I
what's
just
being brought
love.
forward.
And we both said, "Wow, we've been misplaced." So here, she's like, "Let's do this." So we had ideas. 5 hours. We sat down. We talked yesterday with Michael and her daughter and him. She's like, "I'm ready for this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Let's do it." So we're going to be, after this live stream, we're going to be sitting together and going through a few things, and then we'll announce everything with you guys, because we have taken so many photos, all of that, and we just need to concrete some of the dates and then post it. And there are people that are creating, anchoring that city of light. This woman has given so much to this community here with the animals. I mean, what she's done is truly like, wow. There are these magnificent people, purely fifth dimensional heart, and they're using their generosity of their wealth for such incredible good. And what an honor to come and collaborate and help bring a lot of things, so everybody benefits. And
a place
Yeah.
that where most would feel that it may be like a hotel or resort, it is a sacred land,
sacred sanctuary.
everything you could imagine set up to hold sacred ceremonies, sacred retreats, everything that's being placed in a position in a very beautiful, graceful, soft, loving way.
Elegant and luxurious. It's like it's unbelievable.
It's amazing when people take that energy and really put it into the creativity of their heart. And I find that's the beauty of when that creativity of the heart can be brought forward, and all of a sudden we're allowed just to marinate in that sweetness, marinate in that beauty. And really what I find that the joy, thank you, Parrot. The joy in the life of what is being blessed are the signs of the nature, the signs that no matter how difficult, how challenging, you said it very well, my dear brother, surrendering in that patience and really allowing the grace and the beauty of love, light, and everything around to absorb and to bring the healing that we've just been waiting for these past 3 days to help us lift.
And all I wanted is just a couple of days where I can just not hear cars, not hear motorcycle, not hear really people, nothing, where I can just hear birds. I mean, I just cried. I was like, my God, that's all I want. I just want to hear birds. And because I'm up about 5 a.m, and that's it. And just quietness. I so desperately needed quietness. And it took a while to be here. We are here, hearing, oh, here's one motorcycle. There's like nothing up here. And it is for people that really long for that. They really value and appreciate that. And a couple of the lessons to share. One of the messages I received, and Michael received his message, there was all the effort was placed with Brazil, but clearly divine intervention, you're not going to Brazil for just now, because there is a different plan. And when we were going through it, we didn't know what that other plan is, but we remain in trust. We remain there so concretely. There is a greater plan that's beyond us. We don't know it. We just have to go through these bumps and it will be revealed. I feel like Michael and I did very well teamwork together. The other part of it is, as healers, again, not sacrificing ourselves. It was so important. A lot of times we're exhausted, we're still taking care of others, and that's fine. But there was a moment we needed the rest for ourselves, and we were able to really speak up and not sacrifice that. And it was very important that our union in that space was also honored, and the teamwork, and continuously speaking with love, speaking our truth, speaking our heart, speaking patiently, speaking with kindness and grace, where all those people that we would have never been in contact with, they were very touched by, the humility we were bringing. And I feel we really live. There's one thing to work with living codes of light. There's one thing to talk about Christ consciousness as we're going through on this triple 333 Stargate. But there's another one to be thrown in the middle of absolute chaos, but to actually apply it and bring it through and live it and really create an impact. And out of it, we've received a beautiful gift, a friend, an Uber driver for life, but now he's like our adopted cousin who keeps checking on us. He wants to come back, take us to the airport too. And we met a dream that we had that was given to us that will be part of a very spectacular wellness holistic retreat up in a mountain overlooking the ocean. And
with
we're
all the elements.
with all the elements that will hold the vibration, and we're in it now. We like it arrived here in the most we could have never imagined, and all we did, we kept following what was being shown to us and not sacrificing it, yet meeting every obstacle with love.
And what's most beautiful in that
Yeah.
is the ability for both of us
Yeah.
to really see in the midst of all of it,
Yeah.
we were able to keep our flame, to keep
Yeah.
our union, and to keep the ability of that light to shine in
Yeah.
such a way
Yeah.
that it empowered
Yeah.
us
It
in ways that
really
you can imagine.
empowered us.
Because for one person to go
Let me
through
see
this
if
alone,
I can put the light
for,
on.
for,
Sweetie,
for
what
one
do you think?
individual to go alone in this journey, and we're battling the light of the sun, but the beauty. For one individual to go alone and deal with this, and then have the beauty to be with your divine partner, and then really see the tests that come forward, and apply the compassion, and to apply that together, and to see where each of us had our vulnerabilities, each of us had our emotions that came up, but to still hold each other and to still respect each other, that this wave will pass through. No matter how hard the wind was blowing off this mountain, it took out all communication, deplugged for a day in which we did not know when electricity or when things would come back. We had the ability to stay strong together. And what was so beautiful about it is the 5 days leading up to it couldn't have been more of a roller coaster ride of moving through like a dryer, tumbling, and staying hand in hand, trusting each other. When that moment was for the masculine divine to step forward to support, when that moment for the sacred feminine divine to step, it was like equally we could embrace each other through this and hold each other, and now look at it in the highest level of gratitude, of not wanting to change a bit
Anything.
so that we can look through this and share this, because we know that each of us have gone through these experiences where we could have lost it. We could have pointed to each other and really just let it all go. And there were moments that,
and really giving
there
it
were triggers.
all. Yeah.
And moments
Giving
I
it
put
all.
my foot in my mouth, and moments that Honey was about to just, take the next plane off the mountain and leave. And it was just to the highest degree of really,
but
the test of
also
love,
really facing those is also very important, because for me was because of my children. I needed to, there was no contact that had brought a lot of concern for me in the midst of this, and also to face that as the wind got even more, to really face that, what is that, and again come back to God, come back to the angels, give all of it and be held. And it was so interesting. Why we're sharing this, because as healers, most of you are healers that are watching this right now. You're part of transformation of healing. You're put in position, you're of service to others, and you hold a great space. Couple of the things is, it's very important. We always talk about self-love, but we don't always create the necessary self-love for our higher self-love and our well-being, because there is a calling to be of service for humanity, for people, for Mother Earth. So a lot of times, like, that balance is slightly off. Then we have these solar winds. Then we have the magnetic stones. They have the stargates and gateways, and we have these Christ codes. We have the plasma rays, diamond code. All of this happening. So we're constantly getting updated. But then all these updates and downloads, and all of this are being put into everyday situation in which our higher body, our higher consciousness, the divine aspect of ourselves is having the opportunity to come in through our vessel, and that presence be in communication in the midst of chaos. So we wouldn't change any of it, because every single situation encounter, there's a humor within the imperfection, but it's so perfect. The perfection and the imperfection, what it seems, because and also a lot of us healers, and there's this financial thing, right? So here we are, like this money that we had put towards Brazil, all of this gone like this. And it was amazing for us to be so detached, so detached. Okay, God has our back, angels has our back, and we have no idea what will happen next. We gotta get to another one. We don't know, but we're gonna have it this happen because they got our back. And you know what happened? That's exactly what happened. In one of the transactions, we have no idea, on our credit card, it's disappeared. We're like, what? As if it was never even charged. And that's how they also help. So a fifth dimensional frequency is not in the mental plane. It must be applied in real situation, and most importantly, in dense 3D situations. So we're bringing that divine aspect of ourselves into that contained, restricted third dimensional reality. So we open it to fifth dimensional reality. And I really feel from this 3 weeks, from coming to Miami, not making it to Brazil, you being having the frequency light updates, everything that took place, and to here has been part of it. Okay, just as we experienced in our 6 weeks tour in Europe and North Africa. Are you being in your light? Are you being in your light? Are you living your truth? Are you living your life? And can you stand up for yourself in the middle of it and not sacrifice your truth?
And allow that to be one of the greatest initiations. Thank you, Heather. A way that when these tests and these lessons arise, how and what reaction will be placed forward, because we know in the name of love and in the name of light what's going to happen when all of these pieces are being pulled underneath from you in every type of unexpected, and when we say unexpected, levels that we couldn't even predict, from consciousness,
Everything.
awareness, the ability just to step back. And what I love about this in reflection is the trust, the courage, and just the strength to move past these, because we knew on a higher realm, the angels, the masters, our guides, our spirits are there to help support us and to help honor us, because at the end of each night, there was this just sensation of like, we're in a very sacred area and we know that we're highly protected. They are here assisting, but it is one of the greatest initiations of love and how we can move through this in love.
And it's not just love for each other, it's that true love, the divine love coming in, and we get to share that, not with just this, with everybody that's part of it. And I feel that's very important. Why we're sharing this, because many of us, this 3-day window period before today, it was so significant to shake everything up, because we move into Sunday's 9 energy of completion. This completion is that third wave, finally the massive updates, and each of us have gone through it, and each of us have our part to contribute and share. And we're only speaking of, and also in reflection, I feel we really passed wonderful tests and we created impact. And for that, I'm in gratitude. I'm in gratitude too, that we were given the opportunity, as challenging as it was, for that greater part of ourselves to step forward.
And for us to rise.
And for us to rise in it. So that is part of our ascension. And that is part of the collective ascension. If we've done it, more people will be able to do it. And that's the whole purpose of sharing this. And love is such a powerful force, is not weak. it is so strong. And there's one love we share as a union, there's another higher love that we're sharing ourselves, and that is the opportunity given to every single part of us. So that's what we're here to share with you. So we haven't been able to write anything, and really we just figured let's just turn on the live stream and tell you what on earth has been wild and amazing and
At the end of the day,
crazy, and
to laugh,
to
and
laugh.
to
We
hold,
laughed a
to
lot too.
embrace everything, because I feel that those that have gone through these situations before can really resonate that, that as life comes through us, we just have to stand back, surrender, and accept to the trust and divine order of how everything plays out, because
Yeah.
it really gave us a day today where we just giggled and laughed and just thought, wow, how much that we moved through in these past days, and now to be in this
And to be
beautiful,
so rewarded, so rewarded beyond our imagination, beyond, and like our dream before us never could have imagined. And it is a testament, right? Is that correct word? Of endurance and trust and faith and will in divine we have. And that is a gift that each of us have, no matter how crazy and chaos. Are you able to say, wow, I'm so freaking loved this happened? And I feel that's what we faced. Not for I was like, wow, Michael, we're so loved and protected this happened. Like instead of, oh shit, this happened. And that's a whole different vibration.
And in that vibration, it kept feeding us the opportunity to keep moving back to our hearts.
And we had each other to just keep bringing love
keep
to it.
bringing to it in a place where literally we're the only people here right now. There's
We
no
were, you know what? We were the true example of, like, the general example of Americans that would cause problem, right? Like, I feel we really washed that off. We were like the complete opposite example of what typical so-called generalized Americans would do. We brought love.
We brought peace and
a lot of
comfort
peace and love
that
and
allowed us.
celebration.
So thank you guys for taking this time to hear our story and to just really
laugh with us and
share the
journey.
joy, because this is our first time of sharing it, and there'll be more posts to more levels. But at
a
the
couple
end of
of
the day,
lessons. If you're going to take Uber, sorry, Michael, in Costa Rica, please do a little homework. If you're going to be mountaintop, make sure you do not take any road like what we took. Okay, less travel road, no problem. But seriously, that never again. Look into a few things, and also if somebody's been partying and lots of drugs and what have you, they want to come pick you up. It's a little bit interesting, and that was another show. But there's another trust, and we keep putting angels all around, and definitely read reviews. If you, last minute you're doing reviews, I really feel reviews are very, very important. What people have said, because uh, really, really, that last place was a huge lesson. Like, and if you're booking a place where there's no other hotel, just know infrastructure might be a little challenging. So huge alarm for us. So lots of lessons.
But at the end of the day, we're very grateful in just the experience that when you're in a place, there's always the locals and the beauty of the people around you that do help remind you that we are surrounded by love and we're surrounded by that light constantly. So in those moments where we sometimes feel like we're helpless, hopeless, or in despair, God always gives you that permission.
That's right.
No matter how dark it may be, to reflect the beauty of the light, the beauty of the nature, and the beauty of the energy that constantly shines upon us, that reminds us of what a gift this life is, what a gift it is to share with you, and to take this journey and really just flow with it in the most harmony and peace we can possibly do. So thank you for this beautiful, beautiful past couple of weeks that have brought forth everything that has helped cleared and really bring forth the deep values that we treasure within us, because at the end of the day, we do know that it brings us even closer, deep into our hearts, so that we can honor each other and honor the fullness and the experience of life. that's what
Oh my
is just
God, the
so much.
laughter.
So
Much love. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for this space where we got to share with you. And now we're going to go meet the owner as we're putting this program together. And as soon as we have it, we'll announce it. And we can't wait for the first 10 people to come. It'll be
Wonderful.
amazing. Aho namaste. In lakesh banura ish hash hash. Bye bye. One second. Let me close this. Oh, the people here. Yay. We didn't see this. Hi, Nancy. Oh, wow. We'll look at this later. So much love.